Ms. Ellis, why don't you tell us exactly what it is that your role was in this transaction?
I am a booking agent and a promoter.
Okay, what's a booking agent?
So I book the best tribute bands in the world, high-end tribute shows like Journey and Peter Frampton. And I also book some really well-known national artists such as Marco Mendoza.
And Marco's here with us today, Mr.
Yes,
Mendoza.
he is.
How are you compensated for being a booking agent?
So the rule of the thumb is I always get the check and I pay out to the artist. That is my relationship with all my venues.
Right. What do you receive for doing all this work?
10%.
Mr. Harris, what do you do for a living?
I have been in the music industry for 30+ years. I'm kind of a veteran in the business. I'm a tour manager.
So tell us what a tour manager does.
Well, for this tour, the artists that I represent, one of them is here. Pretty much, I had to create a tour from ground zero.
And how are you typically compensated for that work?
I told my artists, I said, whatever's left, if there's anything, I'll pull it out of the end.
So, Ms. Ellis, the simplest thing here is I need to see your contract with the defendant. Tell me where there's a signature from the defendant.
There are no signatures. Everything that I did with Jonathan, he wanted to call me on the phone, and I would send him what we had just discussed on the phone. This was our final agreement, and it was done through 4 parties, and the artist that he was representing, he said was not allowed to be part of the agreement. He did not want him talking to anybody. It was only solely through him.
Let's back up before we go any further. Have you learned any lessons?
Yes, I did.
What are they?
I will never, ever let him or anybody take a check from me ever again and talk me into extending a check to him.
I mean, that's a good lesson,
Ever.
but I'm thinking even more simply.
I know, signatures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a written contract.
I know, but he made me trust him and he made me feel like he was my friend.
I'm going to take right now the document that you gave me.
Okay.
So I'm referring to that. Even though I don't believe it's an agreement, let's work off of it.
Okay.
There are several places in this document where there is a guarantee.
Yes.
So an amount that somebody is guaranteeing to somebody.
Yes.
Who is providing the guarantee to whom?
The venue and me made the agreement.
The venue is guaranteeing.
Yes.
So in this one, just as an example, this is page 24 for the boardwalk.
Okay.
This particular venue
Yes.
was guaranteeing
Yes.
$5,000.
Yes, he did.
And that guarantee was made even if only one person came and it was you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Were there any venues that did not pay you the full amount of the guarantee?
No. All the guarantees were paid in full.
Mr. Harris, were all the guarantees referenced in this document,
Yes.
which I don't consider an agreement, but were they all paid to you in full?
Yes.
Why was there any dispute about amounts owed?
The booking agent doesn't get all the checks. They might get the deposits, basically.
Okay.
In this case, we didn't get deposits because there was 3 door deals. Second show was a door deal, last show was a door deal. 2 middle ones were actually guarantees. So everything was, we already knew we were losing money, but there were no guarantees. Should have been, but there wasn't. I had her tell the venues to put them over in my company's name so I could grab them.
No, I understand why you received the checks, but what I'm struggling to understand is her artist, even according to you, was paid less than even the amount of the 2 guarantees combined. Yes. So explain that to me.
On this tour, because the tour was losing money, if there was all guarantees, in other words, if all 5 shows had guarantees, it should have made not $14,000.
I don't care what it should have
Okay,
done.
sorry.
It was guaranteed.
She made those numbers at the end of the day. I did not agree upon those numbers, but she did.
Okay, so what you are challenging is that this was never the agreement to begin with.
Yep.
Okay, so are you telling me you did not receive the amounts?
No, not that I agreed upon. She did show me numbers at the end of the tour. I actually got a tour accounting at the
No,
I'm
you don't get
sorry.
to bang things,
I know, I'm
okay?
Italian. I'm
Come on.
sorry.
At the end of the tour, I got an ending of a tour, the account of her numbers of what was owed.
Okay, but forget about that. Do you have any evidence of the agreed-upon split?
No.
Okay, why not?
I based it off of how much money the tour made, how much the tour lost, and I tried to make sure that everybody got paid out without taking a loss. I didn't get paid at the end of the thing. I took 0, but I tried to make sure that everybody got paid. If not, some people wouldn't have been paid. That, like my headliner wouldn't have even made it, and he made minimal, and he was the headliner.
Okay.
He was my support artist.